Yo, what is going on, guys? Freaking Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate that. And with that much more being said, let's go ahead and dive into the watch list. So, as far as you guys see, new quarter three here, not too much going on. The only thing really that people really keep their eyes on for the start of quarter three are typically airlines and banks. Obviously, those are the first ones that report before tech earnings. Tech earnings won't be until middle of July, till end of July. But for the meantime, really the only thing that is on most people's radar will probably be something like Delta. I don't personally look at it, but that's about all I see of people really keeping an eye out and seeing how airlines are moving as far as quarter three, or I guess from quarter two are going. So, but I'm not really worried about earnings this week. I'm more worried about what's going on with the market. First things first, it's going to be ES and NQ. You guys know I always cover the indexes first. If I go to the 1 hour or 4 hour here, you guys can see that we are still grinding for all-time highs, but the big thing that we need to keep note of is on the 1 hour and the 30-minute. I believe it's mainly the 30-minute that we need to keep an eye out for. Yep. So you can see that we finally have created a bottom at around 62.30, which is the bottom of this, I want to say range, but support that we have created on ES now. Now that we've been grinding all-time highs, we finally found some sort of base / support. And as far as an all-time high or a continuation for the all-time high, I would be looking for anything above 63.30. As far as the downside goes, 62.30. So 100 points away from each side. We're close. The downside looks a lot better. We're far away from both sides equally. 50 points from the upside, 50 points away from the downside. We also have a 30-minute uptrend that we need to worry about that breaks at around 62.50 with that. So if we break this trend line, I would assume we get some sort of continuation or momentum or push down to 62.30, but we won't know until Monday morning or how the rest of the week turns out. That's ES, pretty straightforward. If I go to NQ here, this is going to be on the 1 hour. So kind of the same picture here with NQ, kind of stuck within it's not stuck within a range again, but it has created some sort of support or base. As we can see here on NQ, it's around 22,600. And then the upside is 23,100 for what I'm looking for the upside. Now the upside is a little bit closer, 200 points away. As to the downside, it's around 300 points away. Now both sides are pretty realistic over the weekend or going into the week because it's not too far away for an index like NQ to move 100 to 500 points in a day, depending on market conditions, catalysts, and all that good stuff. So for the meantime, keep an eye out for 22,600, and for the upside, any continuation above the 23,100 area. The only other note that I have is this 1 hour downtrend that has room all the way down to 22,570. Not too much room if we were to break this base / support at the 600 level. So it's something to keep an eye out for sure going forward into this week. Now, the main thing everyone obviously is keeping an eye out for is Apple. I know, crazy for me to bring up Apple because we haven't talked about it in this watch list, in these watch list videos in a while, but it is cooking here. As you can see, if I put this on the 4 hour or the daily chart, probably the daily chart because you guys will see this a lot more clear, we have been in a range for almost 2 months now on Apple. And we're finally at the top of the range. Who knows where this is going to open up over the weekend. I was thinking about swinging this, but I decided not to because I never swing, and it's not my style of trading. But I would just take care of the day trade move on this week. Obviously, Apple is one of the stronger stocks on our watches currently because of the push and the potential breakout Apple could have here. Level that I would be watching is the top of where the gap starts, which is around 214.65, with room up all the way to 221 with where the gap ends. Now, do I think it can fill it all in one day? I mean, maybe, potentially. Gaps aren't meant to be filled in one. I mean, they can be filled in one day. They can be filled in a week. They can be filled in a month. Gaps don't have a time frame on when they need to be filled. So for the meantime, I'm looking at 214.65 with room up to 216. I don't need that big of a move on Apple. $1 moves on Apple provide more than 30 to 50% even at times. So again, I'm not looking for a big move here. I'm just looking to take a piece of the move that it could provide. So that is my target in areas that I'm looking to trade on Apple. So consolidation break into a gap fill is what I'm looking at for this. And then last but not least, I know crazy, I don't have Tesla. Insane to really even think about that, but there really isn't nothing on Tesla, believe it or not. Nothing that I see because of how many more other setups we have. So my next and last setup that I have on my main watch list, I won't be covering the side watch list. I do have a couple on there, but those are more reserved for the stock hours chat just because those are setups that could be later on for the week. So if you're not part of the chat, make sure to join. So Last thing I have on my main watch list is Microsoft. If I go to Microsoft here on the 1 hour, 30 minute, you can see that we had broken 500 in the past, but when I did see this break, it happened end of day and it happened in a really weird way. If I go to the 1 minute, I'm not sure if it'll really portray it well here. I don't think it will. Yeah, I mean, if I even on the 5 minute, it won't portray it that well. But it happened within like the last few minutes of market open. It had a really weird wick, really weird push from all the way. I believe it happened not in one candle, but it definitely did it relatively close to almost one candle, where it just had a random push, broke, and then wicked, and then you guys can see what the rest of the damage was. So. And then we broke it again on Friday, but the issue with that is that I was explaining to the stock hours chat yesterday is the average true range, or ATR, as most of you refer it as. It exhausted most of the move on Microsoft for it to continue anything above 500. You can see that we opened up at 493, 494-ish, and it grinded up all the way to 500 in the middle of the day. And obviously, it couldn't break out because it exhausted most of its move for the entire day. And for it to hold above 500, you needed to open up around there in the morning for it to have any form of continuation above 500. So Microsoft, pretty straightforward setup. I'm just keeping an eye out above 500. I believe this could be a big setup depending on how we're going to open up on Monday morning. So, but yeah, with that being said, guys, that is about it for the watch list. Not looking for too much right now. So hope you guys enjoy it. And with that being said, before you guys go, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a good week. Peace out.